What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode. I am on a logging road in northern Ontario, and I've got about 60 kilometers to go to my access point. And I actually stayed here on a car camping site last year with my friend Mike, and we had found a whole bunch of smooth green snakes. So I'm just going to take a quick gander and see if I can find one, because they're relatively rare. And it's a really beautiful hot day. The fire ban is still on, and I've probably got about an hour and 45 minutes left on this road. Although it's only about 60 or 70 kilometers long, it's pretty slow going, and it gets pretty gnarly at a few points, so low and slow. No luck today. This just makes it all the more special that we saw so many last year. I think when I was here last year it was August. Right now it's the 3rd of July. And just gonna hop back in the car and drive to the access point. I'm about 12 kilometers from the access point. I'll be going down a river, and then I'm gonna come up this creek on the way back. It continues west into some crown land and a couple lakes. So at the end of the canoe trip, I'm gonna have a bit of a walk up the logging road back to my car. So I'm just gonna stash my shoes here at the bisection of the river and the road, so that when I get out, I won't have to walk 12 kilometers in these water shoes, as that would be pretty uncomfortable. So I'm just going to stash my shoes, change them when I get here, and wear them out. Traveling up this creek, there's a lot of portaging that has to be done on the boulder-strewn banks of the creek. You can kind of get a good idea of what I'll be dealing with here. When I get here, I'm going to have to portage up these rocks and then hope that I can paddle into the lakes without too much trouble after that. And it's hot enough that there aren't any bugs during the day other than the horseflies and the yellow jackets, so I'm hoping I won't have to deal too much with mosquitoes or black flies. All right, we are on the river. My original plan was to camp in the car tonight, but I got here at a decent hour. I've got a couple hours of daylight. So I'm gonna head down river and take the first campsite I find, relax, and then tomorrow head down to a really nice waterfall that I've been to a couple times now. Hopefully catch some walleye. The water level is quite low compared to the last time I was here, so I think that's going to make the upstream travel on the creek quite challenging, but I'll give myself a full day for that and just take it as she goes. Coming out to the first lake of the trip. and I'm hoping that there's going to be a campsite open where I can stay. I'm already ahead of schedule, which feels good, and it is just the most beautiful Canadian summer evening ever. The creek that I will be traveling up, the one that bisects the road where I left my shoes, I've been on it once before. I had a trip planned and I got down to where I'm going tomorrow, the falls, and I got a message that my wife had taken very ill and was in hospital. So I had to extricate myself, but the water levels on this river were quite high and there was no way I was going to be able to get back up to my car. So just by happenstance, I found on the map that there was this small creek that I could take, and I did, and went up to the road and then walked back to my car. And I just remember thinking the entire time, this is a beautiful creek. And I saw a moose and a baby. So I'm hoping it's as idyllic as it is in my memory. The water levels are definitely low, so I think it's going to be quite a slog. But I'll just do my best. I brought a big saw to clear any downed logs that may be in my way, so hopefully it'll be not too bad. And we made some good time ahead of schedule for tomorrow, and we will be relaxing in no time. What's that, my feathered friend? Don't worry, I won't stay long. Oh my goodness. That is slippery. You can see how low the water level is. When it was highest this year, it was at the top of that pollen stain on the rock. So right now the water levels are quite low. I brought a pretty cool book, Beasts Royal, and it's 12 short stories of basically like crazy encounters with animals. So hopefully there isn't one about a savage black bear. Well, it's almost 9 o'clock. I'm not too hungry. I stopped in Point Barrel for a smash burger, and I'd rather preserve some of my food as I don't know if I brought enough. So I think I'm just gonna listen to a short story and then head to bed. Nice and calm. Still have some yellow jackets buzzing around the top of the tent, but not supposed to rain until Thursday. Today's Monday, so I'll leave my front of the tent open for some ventilation, and I'll see you in the morning. Good morning. I had a great sleep. It was nice and cool, and it's already warm this morning, but it is still, the air is still cool, so it's really nice. Looks like it's going to be another beautiful day. Just going to pack up, make some coffee and some oatmeal, and then this campsite is at the beginning of a portage, so I'll shuttle all my stuff over and then hit the road. There's actually a heat warning right now, so I'm going to have to drink a lot of water today. Alright, short portage, 185 meters. Not really that well organized. I'm hoping that I'll only have to double carry after this one. Let's roll. Nice and easy. Just gonna go back for the canoe. And only 2 other portages today, both small, unless the water level's low enough that other portages are kind of created by necessity. I would probably just wade in that case. I'm going to have to drink a lot of water and cool off as often as possible. I did a loop on this river last year, solo, 5 days, and I was on a portage, and I was pretty deep into the trip, day 3 or 4, probably day 3, and I heard some chainsaws, and I thought to myself, what the heck is going on? And I come out of the other side of the portage, and off to my left, up on a bouldery shoreline was a float plane that had crashed, made a crash landing in a really bad storm. The pilot had not been able to see where he wanted to land and had landed too far into the lake and went up on the boulders at the end of the lake and shredded the pontoons all to shit. And the guys who owned it were there trying to salvage it. They told me that they had already tried to lift it out with a heavy lift helicopter, but it was too heavy. So what they were doing was they were cutting down 3 really big trees, delimbing them, and creating a massive tripod, which they hooked a really big winch up onto to detach the engine and lower it to the ground so that the heavy lift helicopter could come back and take just the plane. All of those planes are built in the 50s or 60s and they don't make them anymore, so you have to salvage them if you can. And nobody was hurt, thank God. And the guys were really cool. They just didn't want me to take any video or name the company. Of course I wouldn't. And I helped them for about an hour before heading out on my way, and it was a really cool part of the trip. Coming up on a nice waterfall over here, I'll do some casts. Walleye. That's what I'm after. What a beauty. Beauty. Would be a good eater if it weren't so early in the day. Awesome. Another walleye. Those big eyeballs. That doesn't help. Just coming up to the creek entrance that I'll be taking on my way back up. I can see a beaver dam not 200 feet in. So last year it was quite a slog. It'll be a slog this year too because of the low water levels, but we'll make the best of it. Should be a couple hours from the falls now. A couple portages coming up as well. I should be able to hear the falls soon. I'm gonna have quite a day going back upstream. There's gonna be a lot of lining, a lot of walking on slippery boulders. So that's how you get strong ankles. Almost at the falls. I took my fishing rod, tackle box, and net to the other side of the falls for fishing later on. I took a good look around. Honestly, there's no really good spot for a tent. What I want more than anything is some shade. There's one site about 100 meters up here on the lake that isn't great, but it's not horrible. And the map says that there should be another site right here on the left. So I'm gonna go see if I can find it, and if not, I'm gonna set up camp across the lake there and then come back here to do some fishing later on. All right, I'm gonna make camp here. It actually does have a little bit of shade. I don't think that'll last though because the sun's going this way, but we'll see if we can rig something up to give me some shade. I'm gonna set up, take a breather, pretty tired. The heat really gets to you, and then we'll paddle over and do some fishing for dinner later on. Unfortunately, I forgot my tarp, so I just picked up a cheap one at a grocery store. See if I can rig it up just to give a little extra shade here. It's not very big. Better than nothing. Just tidying up camp to go fishing. I'm going to be responsible today and try to hang my food while I'm gone. A couple decent branches here. We'll see if I can get the Nalgene up and over one. It's starting to spit very lightly, but not many dark clouds on the horizon. Oh, that is refreshing. It's one of the hottest days I've ever been camping. I was on the French River one time and it must have been 40 degrees. It was insane. But there are clouds in the sky, so I should get some intermittent shade. Just gonna relax a little bit more and then head over to the falls to do some walleye fishing. Well, mission accomplished. We got two little guys that'll be good in the pan. Now the challenge will be filleting them without destroying them. I'm not very good at that. Whew. That portage is not easy, especially coming back. I'll start on the smaller one to give myself some practice. Little guy. That's got to be the smallest fillet in the world. Well, that one wasn't too bad. A little bit better than the first two, that's for sure. More to work with. I fell when I was washing my hands. I fell on some slippery rocks and I just smashed my elbow. All right, here we go. Unreal. Just a little bit of salt and pepper. Getting ready for bed. It's about 10:20. Just gonna get the food back in the air. I'm listening to the Count of Monte Cristo, like a radio production, and it's awesome. One of my favorite movies. All right. Beautiful night. Hoping it cools down a little bit. It's still not cool enough. I will see you in the morning. All right. Today's gonna be tough. I'm concerned about the upstream travel on the creek. When I did it last year, I had to get out because my wife was having a medical issue, and so I just remember just absolutely giving her. Now I do have a lot more time this time than last time, so that is on my side. But I think the biggest concern is where I will camp tonight. I do have my hammock, but I forgot my tarp. So I've got this little blue one. It's only 6 feet long. It wouldn't completely cover the mesh top of the hammock. And it's supposed to thunderstorm tomorrow. So hopefully I can find a spot for the tent, but to be honest with you, I don't expect to. I'm just gonna get the food out of the tree, make up some breakfast and coffee, pack up, and then hit the old dusty trail. Canoe's in all right shape. The only thing I'm worried about is this crack here. It's right under the base of my seat. I'm gonna be going upstream today. I will get out of the canoe and pull it up all the shallow spots, and once I'm in the creek, I should be fine. Just came across two big bears in the bush. They looked at me and then scampered off. They're watching me somewhere. Alright, so I lost my center pole. No big deal, I can make a new one. But I also lost my tripod. So I'm going to have to put my mask and snorkel on and go take a look. Oh man, big mistake. Alright, found the tripod. Pretty sure the only thing I lost is that center pole. Everything's kind of packed in watertight stuff, so everything should be fine. The only thing I really get worried about is my car keys, because they're, you know, that battery RFID thing. But I had it in a waterproof bag, so fingers crossed. That was a close one. Everything's fine. Just gonna dry off a bit, get the stuff out here dried off, and then head up. Alright, we've made it to the creek entrance. Now we'll see how well my memory serves about how bad of a slog this is. I've got a couple tricks up my sleeve to make things easier, but I think it's going to be tough either way. We'll keep our eyes open for anywhere we can camp, and the plan is to get into the Crown Land on the other side of the access road tomorrow. So even if we just go a couple hours up here, that'll be fine. Really just look for a good site. And it's about 12:15. Beautiful moose. And the new stage of the trip starts now.